So one of the things that the College Teaching and Learning Science certificate will do is to prepare you to help develop the next generation workforce by helping you to acquire new skills that share your already existing workforce expertise with college learners, that will help you learn how to design courses and target learning outcomes. The program will help you to apply authentic assessments to the learning situation. It will help you to integrate instructional technology in a meaningful way to enhance learning. When you're finished with the certificate program, you will have acquired AI literacy and competency, and you will have developed a new trajectory for your career with a teaching portfolio in hand to take with you on job interviews. So what might the certificate do for you? Well, it certainly can establish an education or training and technical assistance trajectory for your next career. It can bring the realities of the workforce to the college classroom, and you can share your wisdom with the next generation. It could open up opportunities for college-level teaching for you. And it will most definitely set you apart from applicants to teach in community colleges and universities. How might you possibly be able to help the next generation, you might be wondering? Well, one of the things that you will learn is how to work with all different kinds of students, including Gen Zers. And it turns out that when we survey the workforce, we realize that Gen Zers don't come into the workforce as prepared as their supervisors want them to be. Only 30% of supervisors are very satisfied with Gen Zers when they come into the workplace. And perhaps your teaching might change that. In addition, the managers report that Gen Z workers have many different issues that are difficult in the workplace. They suffer from burnout. They suffer from decreased personal productivity. They suffer from stress. They suffer from frustration. So there are a lot of things going on with Gen Z workers that you can make a difference with in terms of intervening and helping them to become productive members of the next workforce. What might you learn in our CTLS program, which is the initials that we use to shorten it? You will acquire up-to-date technological skills. You will be able to assess learning at multiple levels. You will understand how to design and develop courses. You will be able to utilize innovative pedagogical strategies to improve teaching. You'll be able to address the needs of diverse college populations, and college populations are quite diverse these days, much more diverse than they were probably when you were in college. You will learn to develop a teaching portfolio that will be very useful when you go into the workforce to find a job. You will be trained to become Quality Matters proficient, and you will apply learning science to teaching so that you enhance student learning outcomes and overall student achievement. Which means that you can make a difference. You can make a difference in the future workers. You already have considerable work experiences and know-how and expertise. So we want you to bring that with you when you come into our program, because it will help you to gain all of the skills that I just mentioned. You already have the ability to shape the student mindset into a worker mindset because you know what the worker mindset is. You've been out there in those trenches. You already have the day-to-day knowledge of what works in your particular settings. You already have the comprehension of the reality of the workplace, and not just the ivory tower position that professors often take, but as a member of the workforce for many years, you will come in with a realistic perspective of the workforce. And you already have strong applied learning and relevance. The CTLS certificate program is extremely convenient. We've made it convenient because we know how busy people are and how difficult it is to commit to something that's not convenient. So it is an online learning opportunity. There are many asynchronous learning activities. And with asynchronous, that means that you won't have to be available at a particular time. But we also will provide you with synchronous supportive discussions because you need to be with other people who are going through the same program, as well as professionals who understand the kind of support that you need. You can self-pace your learning because the faculty mentors that will help you will guide you through what makes sense for you. We create the program to fit your schedule. The program consists of 5 courses that are sequenced to the very end, which is an expert mentored practicum. We customize the practicum experience and match your practicum placement with your needs and your future goals. We have a rolling year-round acceptance schedule, and our program can be completed in a calendar year. And by working with advisors and mentors in our program, you can create an individualized plan of study, one that fits your needs perfectly. As I mentioned earlier, the program consists of 5 courses, which equals 15 credits. The first course in the program is Applied Learning Science. Then you will move into Best Practice in College Teaching. And then you will take a course that will help you to assess college level learning at all of the different levels of Bloom's taxonomy. And then you will have your culminating experience, which is your practicum placement and a seminar that supports your placement in that particular internship placement. And now we have come to the time of the program where you get to ask questions. So please feel free to ask any questions that you might have at this time. And I'm going to stop sharing after I give you a minute to look over the slide and write down these addresses if you would like to. But I would like to stop sharing and then maybe we can see each other. Okay, now it's your opportunity.
We know folks can need some encouragement when it comes to engagement. So I'll field a question here. And hopefully it'll spark some interest from others. But with getting into teaching, so let's say someone has 20 years of working experience in the federal government. They've never taught before. What would it look like to take that specialized experience in whatever they've done for the last 2 decades, coming into a program like CTLS and learning how to potentially teach what they know? You know, what does that process look like? Is it just a uniform pedagogy informing folks, this is how we teach? Is there opportunities to maybe focus on how you teach what you know? Like how does the program approach that?
Absolutely. There will be opportunities to learn how to teach what you know, because we'll tailor the program to your needs and your future goals. And there are many different excellent teaching pedagogies, and we will teach you about the ones that are relevant for you and that make sense. That was an excellent question. I thank you for that. Hopefully you've loosened up our audience and they'll be willing to ask some questions now.
I always have questions, so I have no problem with moving forward with that. So what types of jobs do you believe, or industries, do graduates or can graduates typically move into from CTLS? Is it like a pipeline to simply become a college professor? Do you have to suddenly be interested in doing research? Or, what are the different avenues someone can explore once kind of being imbued with the knowledge of the program?
Thank you very much. That's an excellent question. And there are many different levels of teaching at both the community colleges and at the university. And therefore, people can choose the pathway that best suits their needs. So if you're not interested in doing research and you don't want to become a tenure track professor, there are opportunities to become a lecturer or adjunct faculty or a clinical professor, in which you are mostly focusing on your clinical skills and imparting those to the students who will be taking those out into the workforce and the future of our country. In addition, some folks may take their skills that they learned from the CTLS program and go back out into industry and businesses and teach workers and employees. Or sometimes you might even become a teacher of teachers. And so that you might go back into the work world and teach others to become teachers like you and teach them what you've learned so that they can reach out.
That's an interesting approach there. Become a teacher of teachers. What does that role actually look like, or what is it called out in the industry? Is that like just a professional development coach, or what kind of role would someone be looking at if they were to become a teacher of teachers, or informed folks on maybe how to teach their specific specialty that they've got decades of experience in?
It might be called a professional development coach. I mean, I think different places might call it different things, but it would be an opportunity for you to impart your skills about how to teach others. And so what we've taught you here at UMBC, you can then reach out and allow others to learn those skills who will be individually teaching maybe small groups or individuals at the workplace.
And we've got our first question. It is,
Awesome.
what does the teaching prac entail?
That's an excellent question, and it entails whatever we think is important for you. So we tailor those practicums to be what you need and what your future goals are will predict that you need. So if you're planning to teach, perhaps as a lecturer at a college level, then we would get you into a college classroom with a mentor and professor who has a lot of experience and a lot of empathy and compassion for student teachers, and will help you by modeling and teaching and giving you feedback and supervision. But again, if you wanted to be out into the business workforce, we could find a practicum out there that made sense for you. So the practicum entails a semester's worth of visiting whatever setting or situation is appropriate.
Great question.
And we
more
also give you lots of support during the practicum because you will be having a seminar at the same time. So any questions, issues, you could always bring back, and your peers and the professor of that seminar will help you work through those and help you to provide answers and suggestions.
Another question here, and I think Dr. Williams, you'd probably be particularly fit to answer this, is a lot of these folks are navigating employment changes that they did not foresee coming. And another wave of employment changes I think a lot of people are thinking about or maybe concerned about is AI. We all want to make sure that AI is incorporated into whatever we're learning and what we're doing because we want to be, fit employees or candidates for whatever roles we're applying for. But how does AI impact teaching? And do you have any insights on how you think it might impact the industry itself and maybe the job security around it?
I don't think we know exactly yet all of the reaches of AI, but it certainly is going to change probably everything as we know it, including teaching. And here at UMBC, we have made a concerted effort to make sure that everyone is familiar with all of the new information that's coming out about AI and the best practices. We are currently creating a list of best practices for teaching as well as for out in the business world and out in industry. And that may change over time as we learn more about AI, as we work with it and use it, and we figure out new things that we haven't even considered yet. But it will definitely be a concentration in this program because it's a concentration at UMBC. It's something that we're all going to have to embrace eventually.
Absolutely. Agreed. And that's something that I personally have taken my programs to task for the Department of Professional Studies. Every single one of our programs has been mandated to incorporate AI into this pedagogy. So, AI can answer questions, but you got to know what questions to ask, and that can be a part of it. So, more in that, I guess, AI vein, if you had to imagine how teaching might change with AI, what do you think graduates of this program will learn to do with AI, or how they would maybe necessarily use it to imbue what they know into the next generation of learners?
Well, I know that many folks are wondering, will we still need teachers, professors, instructors, because maybe AI will do it. But I think that we are a people-oriented society and that in general, human beings have always been social beings. And so I don't think that the human touch is going to go away. Instead, we're going to use AI as a tool, just like we've been using technology all along, as a tool to help guide thinking, help create programs, to help us understand the best answers and solutions to things. But I still think we're going to need the human being, the teacher, the instructor, the facilitator, the mentor, the guide, to help others understand it and control it and use it in very practical and non-harmful ways. So if that's what you were getting at, because I've heard a lot, well, we're still going to need human beings to teach, I think we will.
Yeah, and I was kind of alluding to that because I think if I was in the place in my life, the journey of my profession, or part of my professional journey where I'm thinking about what I want to do next, and I want to be secure in what I'm doing next, I want to make sure that maybe I'm AI proof or I'm future proof. So it's good to hear. And I think it makes a lot of sense to, I think, anyone in the room that we are social beings. That's why a lot of folks are in this room right now. You wanted to be in a place with other people experiencing what you're experiencing and learn new things that can help you on your journey. So, you could have just Googled, how can I teach the next generation? But, the fact that folks took the time out of their day to be here for 30 minutes, I think speaks to the fact that we all kind of want to have somebody we can bounce our ideas off of. So,
and that's exactly why we have some synchronous learning in the program, although we individually tailor it so that it can meet people's needs and schedules. We do have lots of opportunities for folks to come together and to share their ideas or their frustrations or their questions and provide each other with support and feedback, because I think that will always be important no matter how technological we become.
absolutely. With that, we'll give folks some time to throw any questions they may have in the chat. Is there anything that you really feel like folks in attendance really should know or kind of keep in mind when considering maybe making the pivot from what they were doing in federal work into coming into teaching?
Well, one thing I want to say that these folks might not know is that forever, teachers at the college level have not been certified to teach. They haven't received specific and direct training in teaching. And this program provides that, which means that anyone who goes through this program is going to have an edge over other folks who don't have that. And trust me, I know from feedback I get from students that it makes a huge difference when the professors know how to teach and know their content, as opposed to just being an expert in their content area.
It's one thing to be an expert, and it is one thing to be a teacher. That's really a beautiful insight there. I think on the slide deck we actually had the QR code for the exit survey. If we could get that on the screen. We share this every session. These sessions are free. It's an opportunity to give folks insights into maybe what's possible for the next step of their journey. And the survey that we're going to ask you to fill out lets us know whether or not these topics are relevant to you in your current journey, and also provide you an opportunity to provide us feedback about what kinds of sessions are most useful for folks. So we're going to have that up on the stage. We've got 4 minutes left here, so definitely open to any questions. But while we're here, before anyone heads out, please scan this QR code, fill out the survey. It really helps us making sure that we're offering a service that folks need. We love being here, spending this time with you guys, but this isn't an opportunity for us to pat ourselves on the back. It's an opportunity for us to provide a service to our fellow citizens and encourage and uplift them during a very difficult time. So we just want to make sure that what we're doing is beneficial to those who have been impacted. All right. So let's see. Last question. We've got 4 minutes here. Are there any real world, we talked about Gen Z and coming into the workforce. Are there any kind of real world trends that you think the next generation of teachers really need to focus on to help the incoming generation of workers?
Well, I do think the trend is to become an expert teacher now, as opposed to just being an expert in your content area. Because the workforce supervisors are not totally satisfied with the graduates that are coming out right now, we know that there's a little gap there. And perhaps that gap, I would propose, is the result of folks who aren't trained adequately to be expert teachers. And this program will make sure that never happens for you all when you go out to teach.
Well, 3 minutes left here. If you have any, exiting thoughts you'd like to share, Dr. Williams, please do. The QR code is up here on the screen. I'm also going to throw it in the chat, so feel free to click that and submit it that way. But we do appreciate you all spending your Wednesday afternoon with us, and hopefully we'll see you next week for the entrepreneurship session. So if teaching is not your thing and you really want to get into maybe making money for yourself based on the same level of experience you could have used to teach, please join us next week for that.